Hey everyone, welcome to the Vita cast, episode 107. We're back from a very long vacation. The holidays are over. We're now in 2016. It's me, Tyler Olthoff, joined always with Kyle Wakeling. How's it going, Kyle?
I'm pretty good. How are you there, Tyler?
I'm great. It's 2016. It's a new year, new releases.
You're
coming.
older.
I am a year older, yes. I turned 25 on the 1st, so... Yay. But no, it was fun. I had a good time. But yeah, what about you, Kyle? How was your holidays?
My holidays were pretty good. Pretty low-key. I did a lot of relaxing, which was nice. But yeah, they were good.
Did you get anything?
Yeah, I got some good stuff. I got another PlayStation TV, so I can do some more Japanese coverage and not have to switch back and forth so much, which is kind of a pain in the ass, stupid Sony. And I got a new headset, which it doesn't work for what I wanted it for necessarily, but I found a workaround, so we're cool. I got some money, a PlayStation 4 remote, so I don't have to mess around with controllers and waste my battery every time I change what show I'm watching.
Oh, it's like a media remote kind of thing?
Yeah,
Sweet.
media remote. Yeah. Got some stuff, clothes and stuff other than that, you know.
Very nice.
You know how it is. Oh, and I also got a white PS4 controller for use with my PlayStation TV and my PS4. Because my old one was peeling because I don't know.
I remember
it was
that,
one of those stupid launch models and it didn't start screwing up till like a year after I had it. So it's like, meh.
Alright, this is really random, has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but are you busy after the podcast?
No, I'm not.
Bloodborne.
Bamborn, yes.
Alright.
Sounds like a plan.
Fuck yeah. Alright, I got like the instant urge randomly just a second ago, so hopefully I still have that urge by the time we're done with this monster. So anyways, okay, yeah, that's good. I enjoyed all of what you said. But so for me, I didn't get as much as you, but I did get one really big gift, and you're gonna not really care because you just don't. But I got an Xbox One. I know. My little brother bought it for me. He's an Xbox guy, and so are all my friends that live around me. Like all the people I know personally, they're all Xbox people. So I'm kind of like the odd one out with my PS4 and my Vita and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to have it because I've been wanting one, because I've been wanting to play with them on certain games, and I'm a huge fan of Gears of War, so I got the Gears of War bundle or whatever, and I'm so excited for Gears of War 4 whenever that comes out, so that's all I'll really mention about that. But yeah, I got that. I've been playing a little bit with that and having some fun, but I also got some money, I got a Seahawks beanie that's pretty sweet. I'm wearing it right now. Doesn't it look cool, Kyle?
Yes.
Thanks. But yeah, I got that, and yeah, I just hung out with family, and yeah, and then the New Year came. I went out and drank and got drunk for the first time in my life at 25. Yeah, that's right, people. I waited. I wasn't peer pressured.
He just popped his cherry, people.
Yeah. Blood everywhere.
Blood and alcohol.
No,
Tyler's birthday.
It was terrible. Like I remember everything. I wasn't that drunk. Like I was drunk enough to where I was throwing up. But I remember every single thing that happened that night, and I remember being an idiot. So I'm glad I'm not famous enough, because I know for a fact like that would be like all over the place if I was famous. Like it was terrible.
Oh, Tyler,
I was
funny.
I was like hitting on my girlfriend like super hard and like yelling at her. I was like, just do me. Let's get out of here and have sex. And I was just like yelling it.
Belligerent Tyler. I gotta see this sometime.
Yeah, one time, like if you ever come up here, or if I ever go out there, we'll get.
Or
drunk.
one time we'll just make you take shots in front of the camera until you're fucked up.
Oh
be like,
man, extra life, extra life.
That could be funny. Every game, like take it, or every time I beat you at something, make you take a shot. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
I got a better idea. Every time someone donates money, I'll take a shot. Oh god, I'd die probably.
50 cents at a time.
50-cent donation just came in from, god damn it, Kyle Wakeling. 50 cent, god damn it, God stop it. Oh
Tyler's
man.
like on the floor, like I'm like playing games, like all fine and shit.
That'd be
Be
the
a good time.
worst. I'd have to set a limit to where I can still be able to play and have the stream going. Because I mean it's for the kids, but still.
When he starts to drool on himself, that's enough.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that was the holidays. You know, we haven't recorded it in like 3 weeks, I would say. I think it's been 3 weeks.
It was like right before Christmas, I think like the 23rd or
So
something
maybe like
like
two and a
that.
half weeks. No, no.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a bit. So, of course, if you're new to the show or if you've been wondering where the hell we are, we're back now. And this is the Vita cast, so we talk about the Vita, and we've got quite a bit to talk about. We've been gone, like I said, for a while, so... So, what have you been playing, Kyle? There's got to be like a full list.
Well, it actually isn't as big as I would have thought it would have been, because I didn't play a lot of new stuff. So, it was kind of my relaxed time, and I kind of used it as that. So, I played some Tetris and some Hot Shots Golf because they're my addictions, and I can just sink hours into them without really caring. So, I played a whole bunch of that. I played some J-Stars Victory Versus. I did some of the, I think it's called Jump Stars mode or something like that. The main like story mode of the game, and got a little farther with that. I played some Legend of Heroes, but then I can't remember what happened. Something happened and it pissed me off, and I was just like, nope. And I just stopped playing that for a little while. I also played some PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I was actually going to help somebody, I think, on NeoGAF. They wanted help getting a platinum. They needed, like, I think it was like somebody off your friends list playing with you or something like that. We couldn't get it working, but I ended up playing by myself anyway, because I was like, whatever, I got it open. So I played a bunch of that. I played some more Bastion. That game is just so good. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of got a hold of me. So I went back for some more of that. I think I might actually go for the platinum on that. I wasn't really planning on it originally, but I think I might.
Do it.
And there was something else. Here, let me look here. Super Beat Sonic, yes. Played some Super Beat Sonic just because it's Super Beat and the music makes me feel good, so.
Makes you lose control.
And no, not like you lose control there, Vomit Man, but...
Oh, okay. Alright. Good one, Kyle.
That's right. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. There might have been a match of Killzone Mercenary in there, I'm not sure. Because I know I played that last time too.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's me. What have you been playing?
Okay, so I haven't played too much, but I've been around town, Kyle. So
We know.
I've been playing the F out of the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel because it's my review copy game, so like I need to finish it, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I just got past chapter 3. I'm midway, actually not even midway. God, the game, like every chapter seems to get longer, so I'm very beginning of chapter 4. I don't know how many chapters there are. Kyle, you were saying there was 5, right?
I think there's 7.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think I looked at the trophy list after that, and it said 6, and then there's one that says, like, the final chapter, so I assume that means 7.
Well, alright then.
Yep.
Okay, well, I've got a lot more to play. I've put in, let's see here, I've got the game open right now. Can I pause the game? Nope, I'm in a battle right now, so I can't see how long I've played. But last time I checked, I had put, I think, 25 hours in. And I just got to chapter 4, so that...
yeah, I've got like 6 hours in, and I'm at the end of chapter 1, beginning of chapter 2, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so enjoy that, Kyle.
Fun.
See, that's something that I might bring up in my review about it feeling like it's kind of dragging on. But, of course, you know, the review will sum up a lot of how I'm feeling about it. It's a fun game, but there's some stuff I got to talk about. So, look out for that hopefully soon. But if there's 7 chapters, oh god, it might be longer than you think. Because I've literally been playing every single day for multiple hours. Like, I am just chugging through this as hard as I can. So yeah, anyways, I've been playing that. Well, come on. There we go. Trophy list popping up. I played also the Legends of War, that patent game that came out on Plus. Not very far. I played a little bit of it. The game froze on me and I got mad, so I shut it off. That's all I played of it. A good first impression, right, Kyle?
Great first impression.
Yeah, at least I got 1 trophy, so now I can never delete it.
We could always hide that trophy and then just pretend you never played it, like
True.
I do with some of my games.
True, very true. I also booted up Disney Infinity 2.0. I had like it's just one of those days where like you get a random urge and you're just like, I've got to play this right now. And I have like all my Disney Infinity like toy things like sitting over in the corner by my bed, and I looked over at them and I was like, looked at my Vita, looked back over the set, and I was like, it's time to play some Disney Infinity. I played for about 5 minutes. And I just was like, you know what? I'm not feeling this anymore. So I stopped. I swung around as Spider-Man in New York City for a bit. I looked at the cars down below. I got next to a mission. I was about to start it, and I was like, nah. And I shut the game off. I also tried playing Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment, but my Vita won't play it. And I tried your idea, Kyle, that you told me about, and it didn't fix it. So I gave up on that. I'm just going to probably, if I want to play that, I'm going to have to play it on my other Vita. So, kind of sucks. Because I was really wanting to show my friend it. And I've been using my new Vita like all the time now, because I wanted to make this be my primary Vita and my Capture Vita be my secondary Vita. So yeah. It sucks. Because I had it, I had that urge, and I couldn't, get that urge out of my system. So yeah. I also played a little bit of Big Fest, not too much, just a little bit, and a little bit of Nuclear Throne. I'm still loving that game. That is such a fun game. I really want to play more of it, and I wish they had multiplayer. So there you go. That's all I played. A decent amount of games playing. The most of it was The Legend of Heroes. So yeah. Let's jump into the reviews we've got. We've got a couple here, so let's get right into it. First up, we've got Desert Ashes Episode 1+2. This was reviewed by Zach. He gave it a 3.4 out of 5, and he says, quote, Desert Ashes is a game for strategy game virgins and beginners. Even with some of its simplistic scenarios, you will be acclimated to the genre easily, and it will leave you with a hunger that, sadly, it cannot fill due to its short length, end quote. So there you go. I played a little. I think I played this. Yeah, I played a little bit of this a long time ago. It's a fun little game. I believe it's free, right? I think
it's like first episode is free, and then the other one's like $2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember 100% though.
Either way, it's a very small entry price point. So if you're looking for a little strategy game to kill some time, possibly, it sounds like it could be a decent game to grab. What about you, Kyle? I don't think you've played this one yet, have you?
I have not, no. It's just one of those things that are way too far down my list to probably ever get up to the top.
Right. I gotcha. Well, alright. Next up, Kyle, what do we got?
We have Taco Master, and it was reviewed by Zach. He gives it a 3.8 out of 5, and he says, quote, Taco Master is an extremely fun game. It does have some lag troubles, but despite what you may originally think of it and its apparent content, you'll find yourself finding a groove and having a blast making tacos, end quote. This one isn't available in Canada, so I don't really know too much about it other than it's Taco Master, and the image that they use to promote this game is fucking ridiculous, just full of like little things that you can laugh at. So I maybe would have tried it, but they didn't give it to us Canadians, so I guess I'm screwed. What about you, Tyler?
I just haven't had any interest in it. Been too busy with
no tacos for you, Tyler?
No, I mean, I'm not the biggest taco fan. I like tacos like here and there, but I'm definitely no master of it. So it's not grabbing my attention. It's a little too spicy for me.
Stupid Tyler.
Alright, next up, we've got Nuclear Throne. This was reviewed by Paul. He gives it a 4 out of 5, and he says, quote, difficult, charming, colorful, addictive, frustrating, and then some. Tremendous fun and the biggest title Flambeer have pulled off yet. If you're after all of the above, then you definitely want to take a look at Nuclear Throne." End quote. Yes, I agree. It's a very challenging game. It's super addictive, and it has that that grab of like how Hotline Miami like is super challenging, but if you die, you can instantly get right back into the action. So like you'll do a run and you'll die and you'll just be like, okay, one more, and then you'll do it again, die. Okay, I got time for one more. And you'll just keep going, and next thing you know, hours have passed. So that one is a must grab if you have the chance to pick it up. It's so much fun, so much fun. Kyle needs to get it.
I'd be more inclined if it had multiplayer for sure, but yeah. I'll probably get it.
It's still really good without multiplayer. Like if multiplayer is really that important to you, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's so good by itself. So good. So good. All right.
Okay.
I'll stop talking about Nuclear Throne. We'll go to the new releases. We've got one here from North America and Europe. It's Volume. In North America, it's $19.99. In Europe, it's £14.99 pounds, €17.99 euros, and €26.95 Australian. See what I did there, Kyle? I did it for you because there's only one game.
Why, thank you, Tyler. How kind of you.
You're welcome. But I'm not going to do the goddamn Plus games. Go for it, Kyle.
Alright, so we got some Plus games this month. We didn't get 2, we got 3, but there was a little bit of mishap, so I'll explain after. We're supposed to get Grim Fandango, Nihil Umbra, and Legends of War Patent. The thing is, it seems like Europe got the PSP version of Legends of War Patent, and then that was pulled, and now they have nothing. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that, whether they're getting it switched over to the Vita version like we had, but it was originally announced that it was the PSP version, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Something's happening there. Probably something to do with people bitching, which I'm totally cool with. So yeah, those are the 3 games. Grim Fandango was actually a PS4 title, but it is cross-buy, so there you go.
Sweet. Alright, so are you getting any of these, Kyle?
Well, I tagged Grim Fandango, and I tagged Nihil Umbra and Legends of War. I'm probably going to play Grim Fandango. I doubt I'll touch the other 2, and I'm actually kind of not interested in Volume anymore. It's been so long, I probably would have played it when everyone was all like, Volume, but now I don't care.
Yeah, I feel you. I have the slight urge to play Volume just because it's kind of been one of those things where people have been complaining about it not being on Vita, and I kind of be just like to support it and be like, hey, if you're gonna finally bring it, I'll pay for it and show you that, you know, us Vita people are here and want to buy these games. But at the same time, it kind of missed its window, and now I'm like, do I actually want to, you know? So, and then the others, I already own all of them except for Legends of War. I got that on Plus, so I've already played all of them. So yeah, I'm all set, I guess.
That's not a bad thing, Tyler.
No, not at all. Although I do get a little sad when I look at the Plus games. I'm like, ugh, I already have them all. But I guess I did get a little smirk. I was like, yeah, Legends of War. I actually was going to buy that game because I was bored and I saw that it was World War II stuff and I enjoy those types of games. But I was like, nah, I don't feel like spending the money and that's free. So I got it. But anyways, let's get into the news. We've got quite a few pieces to read here, so we will get right through it. I have to yawn. That was a beautiful yawn if I say so myself. Right, Cal?
3.2 out of 5.
Oh, come on. Did you not hear like the vibrato on the end?
I heard it, but it didn't have a good starting. It didn't last long. There wasn't any tense moments or like a climax to this. It was just 3.2, Tyler.
All right, well, I've guessed I got room to improve, and that's the only thing that I can do, right?
That's right.
All right, sweet. All right, let's get into the news before it gets any weirder. A new One Piece Burning Blood trailer has given the game an official Western release window. Burning Blood will launch in Europe in June 2016, available both digitally and at retail according to Bandai Namco's community manager on the PlayStation blog announcement. We are still awaiting word on whether this is the North American's release window as well. The trailer released with the announcement also details the rest of the characters to appear in the game. The roster's full list is as follows: Luffy, Doflamingo, Fujitora, Trafalgar Law, Bartolomeo, Brook, Chopper, X-Drake, Enel, Crocodile, Ace, Zabo, Kuzin, Smoker, Ustaskid, Roronoa Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Frankie. The trailer also reveals a special edition that will launch with the game. The Marineford edition comes with 2 statues, one of Whitebeard and the other of the former Yonko's memorial. The game, an official art book, and in the case it all comes in. One Piece Burning Blood also launches April 21st in Japan, where it will be getting a different special edition. Square Enix has released some new information for upcoming game Ikeni to Yuki no Setsuna. If you've read any of our previous updates, then you'll know that the gameplay will be reminiscent of 90s RPGs, and in particular Chrono Trigger. The game is set on an island where a ritual sacrifice is offered once every 10 years, but for some reason, it's been a while. But for some unknown reasons, monsters have begun to attack long before the next sacrifice is due. As the protagonist, you need to escort the next sacrifice, Setsuna. During battles, cooperative techniques can be used when certain skills are equipped. Once the ATB gauge is filled up, you can have 2 or 3 party members join in to attack an enemy simultaneously. This can lead to you dealing some pretty devastating damage. A couple of new techniques are as follows. The X-Slash is a high-speed dash technique between the protagonist and Kuon. Its high speed leaves traces of an X in its wake. The Iska attack is a powerful attack with water elemental magic. You'll need to attack with the protagonist and Julian in order to activate this attack. Square Enix has also revealed more information about some of the characters in the game. Keel is a young boy who lives in the secluded mountains. His family is shrouded in mystery. He was raised by the people of the village and grew up to envy the outside world, which led to him eventually running away from the village. Keel has a positive and hopeful personality. He's a magician specializing in fire and can use high-level spells. Julian is related to the old royal family. She is determined, stubborn, and tends to focus on one thing at a time. Her appearance is mysterious and makes you wonder about her past. She specializes in attacking with her spear and also uses water magic. Ikeni to Yuki no Setsuna is due out in Japan on February 18th. Gio Gorsi has announced via Twitter that third-party productions will be lending a hand to the Banner Saga's producers in order to ensure a Vita release. Just a week ago, we received some dire news for the Banner Saga, as the PlayStation 4 version of the title got a January release date, and the Vita version got the maybe later treatment. The repercussions of this were felt and heard wide and far, as people expressed their displeasure that we were left in the dark to begin with, and then that it probably wasn't coming at all. Thankfully, that's not the end of the story. Now it seems Joe Garcia and the team over at Third Party Productions have heard our pleas and are stepping in to give the team at Versus Evil, the producers of the Banner Saga, a helping hand on getting the Vita version completed. Here's how the news dropped. Quote, "Great news. We're partnering with @VS_Evil to continue work on #Banner Saga, #Vita. More news in 2016. Happy holidays." End quote. As stated, expect more news on this in 2016, but for now, an assurance that we will see the Banner Saga on our favorite handheld is sure to go a long way, don't you think?
Yes.
Indeed.
Right, Tyler?
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oui.
Moving on. Recent happenings with Agatsuma Entertainment may have had a negative effect on future Vita libraries. The Japanese publishing company Agatsuma Entertainment recently filed for bankruptcy, having been a part of the industry since 1997. However, its closure has not had only an effect on coming releases, but on past ones as well. Seems that on Steam, the Agatsuma published Sayonara Umehara Kawase Plus has been delisted, causing it to no longer be available for purchase. Though we've yet to see any solid indication that this will happen to the PSN version, it's definitely not a good sign and is more of a warning sign than anything else in our opinion. As of this post and this reading, the game is still available on the North American store. I'm not sure about the UK store, but as of the post it was. So if you're remotely interested, I'd grab it now before anything happens. Once something is delisted, there's no way to buy it digitally, though of course anyone who bought it will still be able to re-download it via the download list. Sega has released some more exciting information and screenshots of their upcoming rhythm game Hatsune Miku Project Diva X. For starters, the opening theme song of the game will be Sumi no Name, Name of the Crime, I can't read either, which was written by Ryo, who is a member of Japanese band Supercell. In December, we gave you details of some of the game's live quest mode. Within live quest mode, you'll be able to take on event quests and special concerts. Event quests and special concerts will only be unlocked once the player meets certain conditions. These conditions are rhythm games made up of 3 songs, which players will be able to select. The songs chosen will be specially edited versions that are condensed to feature 1 chorus. Players can select up to 3 characters to join in the special concerts. The latest announcement also revealed some songs for the game, the names of which are listed on the post on the site if you're interested. Hatsune Miku Project Diva X is due in Japan on March 24th. Next up, Square Enix has released some unbelievably adorable screenshots of its upcoming game, World of Final Fantasy, but for you folks on the podcast, the details are the bit that matter, right? First up, we have Lon, which is voiced by Soma Saito. He's the twin brother of Rain. He's full of energy, but can sometimes be a bit of a dunce. He can be very cool when it matters, though. Next, we have Rain, voiced by Sora Amemiya. Twin sister to Lon, she tends to be the opposite, calm and cautious. Both Lan and Rain have lost their memories and, as seen in the screenshots on the site, they both have a mysterious power in one of their arms. When that power is awakened, a piece of armor appears on their arms. Everybody needs a travel companion, and luckily for Lon and Rain, they will be accompanied by Tama, voiced by Ayana Taketatsu. Tama acts as a navigator, but also teaches the twins various things. World of Final Fantasy will also have plenty of appearances by characters from previous Final Fantasy games. Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII, Yuna from Final Fantasy X, Princess Sarah from Final Fantasy, Charlotta from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echo of Time, and Ferris Sherwitz from Final Fantasy V. Square Enix has also given us some more details on the gameplay. Players will be able to befriend mirages during their travels. You'll even be able to ride the later mirages and move around the world quicker than walking on foot. You can discover treasures and get past obstacles blocking the way by using the skills of different mirages. The twins have the ability to befriend mirages because of the power dwelling in each of their arms. In order to befriend mirages, you simply need to encounter them in battle. By weakening a mirage in battle, it's possible to gemify it. When you gemify a mirage, they will be befriended and you can have them fight alongside you in battle. During battle, it's also possible to stack mirages on top of each other. Doing so will combine their individual abilities, powering them up, and can also unlock new abilities. You'll need to pay attention to size when stacking the protagonists and mirages. You have to stack large, medium, and small sizes in the correct order. You can also fight unstacked. This enables each mirage to act independently, increasing their number of actions and making action points easier to accumulate. You might be wondering why you want to accumulate action points. Well, wonder no longer. You can use action points to summon Mega Mirages. When you summon a Mega Mirage, the other party members temporarily withdraw, and the Mega Mirage will remain in battle until all action points are used up. You want to use your Mirages regularly in battle, as this can lead to them transforming and evolving. So by fighting alongside Ifchi, he'll evolve into Ifrit, and later, through enough battles, he'll evolve into Ifrit. World of Final Fantasy is due out in 2016. Yeah.
Can't wait. Alright, next up, We've been following progress of LEGO Marvel's Avengers for a while, and as we get closer to its release, more information is starting to filter through, such as the news that for the first time in a Vita port, there will be an open-world hub, which is practically one-to-one with the console versions. Steve Thornton, who is the game director for TT Fusion, has posted on the LEGO Games blog about the game. Quote, "When I watched the first Avengers film in the cinema, long before I ever dreamed I'd be working on a game of it just 3 years later, there were immediately a dozen scenes that jumped out as being perfect video game sequences. The pacing, the boss fights, the skydives, the chases, the big battles, and grand set pieces. It was all there. For me, the most important and exciting thing that sets video games apart from movies is the power of interaction. Interaction is what allows video games to elevate their audience from a spectator and put the action in their hands. No longer watching their heroes on the big screen, gamers get to rip through the sky as Iron Man, they get to smash through walls as Captain America, and they get to punch a big alien fish in the face." End quote. Steve continues, quote, "I think when people pick up the video game version of their favorite movie, they want to live and breathe those iconic, memorable moments from the big screen. They've already watched them from afar, but this is their chance to play them. With that in mind, it was important those scenes that jumped out on the cinema, those moments everyone remembers, are front and center in our LEGO video game. More than ever, I think fans will be very impressed with the accuracy we have pushed for between the game and the films." End quote. As the games are based on the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, there will be many nods to events from the shared collection of films, especially those from Phase 2. Are you looking forward to LEGO Marvel's Avengers? What moments are you hoping to see in the game? We will bring you more news and a review as soon as we can, but if you grab a copy of issue number 9 of our magazine, you can read our interview with Steve in there. Go get it. Go get it. Next up, it's been a while since we've heard anything from Axiom Verge Port, but Tom Happ, the game's creator, says that it'll release in the upcoming months. When asked about the lack of a Vita version, Happ responded that the port was slated for a December release, but a January or February release is now more likely. At Last Real Gamer tweeted to Axiom Verge, quote, "How's the Vita version going along?" End quote. At Axiom Verge replied, quote, "Unfortunately, it's looking like January or February. We had hoped for December, but that was too ambitious." End quote. Axiom Verge is a Metroidvania game where players take control of Trace, a scientist with a fatal injury who awakens in an ancient high-tech world. As for its release date, it looks to be soon, though we'll update you again as soon becomes something with a month and day involved. Next up, Roundabout is a 70s B-movie game where you get to drive a constantly spinning limousine as famed revolving limousine driver Giorgio Manos. You'll drive around the open world of Roundabout, picking up passengers, finding collectibles, competing in challenges, buying hats, and much more. We first learned about Roundabout over a year ago, and it seems now that there's light at the end of the tunnel for the team at No Goblin, as co-founder Dan Teasdale at Delicious Bees teases. Quote, "Vita crew, we are in the tail end. Still have some polish work to do before we submit, but the end is in sight." End quote. Hopefully there won't be too much work for the team and we'll soon have our hands on the crazy title soon. It seems to have gotten some decent reviews on PC.
Alrighty, moving on. We learned of the possibility that Wii platformer A Boy and His Blob would be making its way to PlayStation Vita in late 2015 thanks to a listing on the German ratings board. But now Abstraction Games have confirmed that they are indeed bringing the game to our favorite handheld. Originally developed by WayForward, the game is set to launch as a cross-buy title on January 19th and is described as follows. Quote, "A Boy and His Blob makes its triumphant return. A reimagining of the NES classic. As the boy, you feed your blob jelly beans and watch them transform into cool and useful objects to solve puzzles and escape danger. With its robust and emotionally driven story, challenging puzzles, and visually impressive art style, A Boy and His Blob is sure to become a classic once again. When Blobonia is threatened by an evil emperor, the blob comes to Earth looking for help. Instead, he finds a young boy. Help the blob dethrone the evil emperor that's terrorizing Blobonia, and establish a friendship with the blob that will last a lifetime." End quote. That's all we got for now, but seeing as how it's out in less than 2 weeks, it won't be long till we can tell you firsthand how it is. Alright, now we move into the more tidbit-like bits of news here. These are shorter, so hold on to your hats. If you're planning on picking up Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Star this holiday season, you better pick up the version you mean to play, as cross-buy simply isn't working on the title. As I found out firsthand, using a code or purchasing the PlayStation 4 version of the game will not get you the Vita version of the game as well, and vice versa. Devolver Digital is aware of the problem and is promising a fix before January 8th, which is pretty close, but still hasn't happened. However, that does little for those who have already purchased the game or who are about to do so. At Devolver Digital, quote, "Note, Hatoful Boyfriend Holiday Star should be PS4 and Vita cross-buy and will be corrected on PSN by January 8th. Apologies for the error," end quote. As such, we wanted to warn you, make sure to pick the version you mean to play immediately. Cross-buy coming soon. Next up, Bandai Namco Entertainment has announced the localization of its third Sword Art Online Vita title, which is set to hit the West in the fall of 2016. Bandai Namco just keep bringing Vita games west, and we keep eating them up, the next in the line being the upcoming Sword Art Online Hollow Realization. Western bound in the fall of 2016, Hollow Realization is slated to come our way with Japanese audio, complemented by English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish subtitles. Are you looking forward to Hollow Realization next fall? I know Tyler and I are. Right, Tyler?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
More information to come as this one develops.
Alright, earlier this month we brought you the news of Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana's release date, but now Falcom have shared some details of the story. Adol is on a passenger ship called the Lombardia, headed for Xandria to the continent of Eurasia. I love all these names. The ship is attacked by a giant creature and sinks. Adol washes ashore on a cursed island known as Siren Island. During the game, Adol will help out other castaways and survivors and will build a base on the island. When he sleeps, he'll dream of a mysterious pale girl. Ys 8 will be a fast-paced action RPG, as well as fast action and party-based battles with skill attacks. Similar to Ys Memories of Celceta, there will be a new aerial jump attacks, as well as systems that need you to cooperate with castaways. Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana will release in Japan in summer 2016. A couple days ago, we found out that Bandai Namco is bringing God Eater Resurrection and God Eater 2 Rage Burst to Western shores. Yeah, buddy! We can die happy now, Kyle. No? Okay.
I was already gonna die happy, Tyler, but yeah.
Okay. Alright. Well, now I'm gonna read this all depressed. Now we have a bit more information to share with you. Alright, I won't do that. PlayStation Lifestyle interviewed series producer Yosuke Tamazawa and director Hiroshi Yoshimura about the localization of the game. As well as talking about character creation and gameplay, it was revealed that all of the Japanese voice acting will be localized into English with English subtitles. Unfortunately, there will be no option to play the games with Japanese voice acting with English subtitles. God Eater... Yep, Kyle's not happy. Anyways, God Eater Resurrection and God Eater 2 Rage Burst will be released in the West sometime in 2016. I'm excited regardless. A limited edition has been announced for Summoner Night 6 Lost Borders, titled the Summon Night 15th Anniversary Pack. It will include the following: a 100-page art book, a soundtrack CD, a hard copy of Summon Night 6 Lost Borders, a premium PlayStation Vita theme, a decorative rubber strap for your Vita. This limited edition version will be available for 9,800 yen and will be released at the same time as the normal version in Japan on March 10th, 2016.
Alright, moving on. In this week's issue of Famitsu Magazine, Square Enix revealed new details about Final Fantasy Adventure. The game, which is a full-blown remake of the Game Boy game of the same name, will have completely new graphics, controls, and music arrangement by Kenji Ito. The game's ring command system will also be refined, now called the half-ring command. It will give you more ease when switching between weapons and armor. Lastly, Adventure will add shortcut commands, making item use quicker. Final Fantasy Adventure is set to launch this winter in Japan. It is reported to be 90% complete. Next up, announced not too long ago, by 5PB, Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness has been dated for release in the Land of the Rising Sun. It has been revealed that Psycho Pass Mandatory Happiness will be released in Japan on March 24th, 2016, priced at 7,800 yen for the standard edition and 9,800 yen for the limited edition, including art book and drama CD. And kicking to the next one. The Japan-bound remake of You Know just got pushed back a tad. 5PB has announced that their previous release date, February 18th, for You Know, A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World, is no longer feasible if they want to put out a quality product. So they've moved the release date to a spring window instead while they polish it up. While delays are never fun for those anticipating a game, I'm sure we can forgive them if the quality ends up top notch. Right?
Right. Alright, next up. It has been announced that 2 other Trieste-developed titles will have collaborations with the developer's latest title, Exist Archive. Side View RPG Exist Archive, The Other Side of the Sky, is getting some post-launch love from 2 of the Trieste others titles next month, with Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness, and Valkyrie Profile looking to make an appearance in the game, somehow. Details of these collaborations have yet to be revealed, though with the fact that they're bringing next month to lean on, we can be sure they won't be too far away. Exist Archive released December 17th in Japan and hasn't been announced for Western release. Announced to be coming to Vita way back in April of 2014, we're just now getting our first update on the title, which includes a release window and some details. Cross-buy enabled and $4.99 at launch. Ninja Senki DX is coming out way via Tribute Games and is described as having the following premise. Quote, when Kenyu Hime is slain by a demon, Hayate, whatever, becomes obsessed with revenge. Casting aside the art of invisibility, the blue ninja unleashes the power of Shuriken Jet. Ah, man. It's good to be back, Kyle. It's good to be back.
You love me, don't you, Tyler?
Yeah. Alright, let's try it again. Shuriken Jitsu onto mythological creatures and demons and other adversaries in his action-filled quest for vengeance. End quote. This DX version has also included updates such as a new challenge mode, a remixed soundtrack done by Patrice Bourgoul, and 2 secret modes to unlock, as well as 16 scenes and multiple endings. I can't read in French apparently either. I think that's French. I don't know if it's French. I don't even care. Anyways, Ninja Senki DX is headed our way this February. How good is your ninjutsu? Hopefully better than mine. Anyways, Spanish publisher Badland Indie is bringing a new vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up to the Vita next year. With the tentative release date of late 2016, Doriyoko Way Conflict will bring some interesting mechanics to the genre. Developed by Acronic Games, the shoot-'em-up allows you to customize both your ship and its inhabitants, giving versatile configurations for battle. Conflict will feature different modes such as time attack, survival, and boss battle. For more news on Doriyoko Way Conflict, keep it tuned to the Vita Lounge.
Alright, kicking on. We're almost in the home stretch here, so hang on, guys. Yuki from the anime manga and Ellen from the Sword Art Online alternative Gun Gale Online spin-off light novel have just been added to Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax Ignition DLC roster and bring to the party playable and support abilities respectively. The pair can now be downloaded for free on the Japanese PSN, though they'll cost money after January 31st, so get on it. Next up, Bandai Namco has announced some upcoming free DLC for Batride War Genesis. Though a release date has not been confirmed, it has been revealed that Kamen Rider Batride War Genesis will be getting some free post-launch content in the form of Kamen Rider Chaser. Kamen Rider Batride War Genesis is due out in Japan on February 25th. And next up, Sega has announced that a PlayStation Vita accessory set for the upcoming release of Odin Sphere Leaf Thrower will be coming. Consisting of 3 mostly helpful Vita-centric items, a carry case, an attachable charm, and a cleaning cloth, this branded accessory set has been revealed by Sega and will be releasing in the Japanese region on January 14th, alongside the game. If you're interested in grabbing a set for your Vita or friends, they're currently available for import pre-order at PlayAsia, priced at $28.99 US.
Alright, next up. When Assassin's Creed Chronicles was announced for Vita in December, a lot of people were curious if they'd be releasing the title physically. Now, however, we've seemingly got the confirmation we've needed, as various retailers are already taking physical pre-orders for the game, as well as confirming what the box art for the game will also look like. Assassin's Creed Chronicles will be set in China, India, and Russia over the course of 3 separate chapters, and will launch on PlayStation Vita on April 5th in Europe and April 2nd in North America. Get those pre-orders in now. Here's our last one, guys. Speaking of physical copies, PlayAsia have listed an English Asian version of the highly anticipated JRPG Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, meaning that fans in English territories will be able to get a hold of a physical copy in their language, whether they end up caving and bringing one here or not. There's no concrete release date at the moment, but the listing shows a February 2016 release and will set players back €33.46, I think, or $49.99 US. It's of note that the physical version will contain the same translations as the Western release will receive, so you're not getting some wonky translation this time around. And that's the news, Kyle.
Yay, it's over.
Alright, bye.
Not the whole thing, Tyler, just the news.
Man. Alright.
So, now that that's over, we move on to talking points, and as usual, we look at announced to release games we're looking forward to from the week. What looks good, Tyler? What is making you salivate right now?
Oh, man. Okay, so Ys 8 looks pretty sweet. The God Eater games, oh my gosh, I am all over those. The new Sword Art Online game, yes please. World of Final Fantasy, I'm all about that. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, give it to me now. Assassin's Creed Chronicles, maybe. Maybe. If I'm desperate enough, I'll grab that. So yeah, 2016 is looking hot, Kyle. It is looking hot.
It is looking hot, Tyler. I'll have to agree with you there. There's just, man, putting together those videos for the 2016 preview, I just, like, so much stuff that I was, like, kind of on the edge about, like, maybe I kind of might have been interested in and looked up. And then after, like, putting together all that video footage and going through all that, now I'm like, all these games are fucking awesome. So, yeah. There's definitely lots of good coming, and that's just what we know right now, so, yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. It's so good.
But yeah, looking to what we've talked about here, some stuff that definitely interests me: Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, Assassin's Creed Chronicles. I'm kind of getting in the mood, I guess, for that. I'll probably be getting that, so that's on my list. Also, Sword Art Online, Hollow Realization, of course, huge fan. I have the money to get Lost Song right now, but I just haven't got there yet. So, like, I was going to buy it on PSN, and I was like, well, don't really have time to play it right now. And then, yeah, so it's coming, and then I'll be caught up, and then I can rage like Tyler is. But anyway, definitely that. What else here? Oh, God Eater Rage Burst and Resurrection. Looking forward to them. I'm cautiously optimistic because I've only played like the demos of these games, kind of, and I don't know a ton about them. But from what I've played, it feels like kind of a differently skewed Freedom Wars to me. So I'm definitely in. Hatchful Boyfriend Holiday Star. If that cross-buy would ever get fixed, I'd love to be in there, but don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's taking forever. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. Ever since that one has been announced, I really want it, and I'm hoping because they brought over Ys Memories of Celceta, that they'll bring this one over too. Gimme, etc. And then there's, of course, other things, but those are the main ones, I think, from what we kind of went over that stuck in my head anyway.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Speaking of which, that kind of moves into our next kind of talking point, which is kind of just something I wanted to mention. We do have that 2016 video set up, so on the VitaLounge.net, YouTube.com/loungeplay. We've got a 2016 preview up. 5 videos. It was originally supposed to be 4, but some people talked me into another one, and all these crazy announcements last minute here at the end of the year. So 5 videos. And then we also have our January video up. So if you're looking forward to or looking to see what's coming in January, check that out. So yeah, you should be covered for most of what's coming that's kind of notable anyway. Obviously didn't get everything with those videos, but the January one looks pretty covered. So yeah, check those out. Those are up on the Lounge Play channel right now. I've also, I think, posted recently some gameplay footage from some stuff, so I don't know. Go look. There's good stuff, and there will be more good stuff soon. And then moving on to our next talking point, and that is PlayStation Plus. Now, I kind of wanted to mention this just because this is the second time that this kind of bullshit has happened. And that's the whole PSP games in the mix with Vita stuff on PlayStation Plus. And this is why, right here, it's a bad idea. Because, A, if you give somebody a PlayStation Portable game when they're expecting Vita games, they're like, what the hell are you doing? B, then they get pissed off and they talk amongst themselves and create a big buzz of, of that. And it turns into something that they have to respond to in some way. And then C, we have the whole kind of imparity, I guess you'd call it, of North America and Europe, because Europe kind of got the PSP game there for a minute, and North America got the Vita game. So really not a lot of clarity there. And then the whole thing that's going on right now where they've pulled that PSP version in Europe that they were giving for free, no longer free, and people are saying, oh, they're going to put the Vita version for free now because people bitched. So look at all the stuff that happened from them choosing to, put out a PSP game in the Vita slot. What the hell kind of bullshit is that? Yeah. Like, I can't believe all the mess that they've kind of created from doing this twice to us. Once with Invisibles, now again with Legend of War Patent. I can't even, fathom to, try and come up with an explanation for what the hell they were thinking. What do you think, Tyler? What were they thinking?
Oh, man. I really don't even know. I feel like it was just a weird mess up, and they're trying to, make it seem like there's a ton of stuff. Okay, if you go back into the day when the Vita, was somewhat recent and new, and they would always say, the Vita has blah, blah, blah games to play, and then it would be if you count PSP games. They're just trying to, say, there's so much stuff to play and stuff like that. It just, since it's available and they have it, I feel like they're just trying to give those things away to, kind of entice people to, hey, there's not just this type of game out here. We've got a huge library of these awesome PSP games, and some people hate it, some people like it. I wish they would choose better games, because there is really good games that they could be giving out for free that are PSP games, but they're choosing these games that no one really cares about, and it's frustrating. So I really don't know what they're thinking over there, Kyle. Do we ever?
Not so much, but yeah, it definitely doesn't help that they're being so ambiguous about it, because if they had chosen other games, it might not have been such a problem, because it might not have been, Invisibles, where there's an Invisibles PSP version and an Invisibles Vita version, and they're not the same game, and, people want the trophies and stuff, and when you say it, they're like, oh, the Vita version, and then you give them this PSP piece of crap, and they're like, what the fuck?
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely that doesn't help, and that, with Patent 2, Legends of War Patent is also a PSP game, so, to do that and pick those games kind of was unfortunate. And then just the fact that they're kind of doing that and throwing those in, because as much as those are Vita games, and in the sense that they're Vita compatible, you wouldn't throw somebody a PS1 game on PS3's PS Plus list and be like, oh, it's a PS3 game because it's compatible.
Right.
like people would flip out, and nobody would hear the end of that. So it's just kind of funny that we get the short end of the stick with stupid shit like that, whereas other people are kind of, or other consoles are kind of in the same situation with compatibility wise. PS3 being able to play PS2 and PS1 games, and yet they don't get those like that. So I don't know. It's just kind of awkward.
Right. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and I don't know. They have better options to choose from too with what they're giving people. I don't know. There's
800 and something Vita games released across all 3 regions right now. Probably cutting that back to just North America or Europe. Easily 400 games. If you can't find a game that hasn't been on Plus out of those 400 games, you need to quit your job and go home and just kill yourself. But
all
yeah.
Right.
Like seriously, like 400 games, and you're like, oh yeah, there's been 36 months since Plus started, or however many months. We can't find any more. That's only 10%, but that's all of them. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think we've talked enough about that. It just needed to be mentioned because they're pulling some bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go on to that listener mail, Tyler.
Oh God! All right. Well, everyone, buckle up, sit down. We have like the entire podcast to go through again. This is the longest goddamn listener mail I've ever seen in my whole life. All right.
I don't know. We got some good ones way back when from Lester.
That's true, but I think this one tops it. Lester,
we'll see.
slacking.
You read it and we'll find out.
All right. So here we go. PSN network ID is Crow Loans Z. It's spelled KROLONZE. It's all one word. Go send him a friend request, send him a message, say what's up. So he says, question. This is number one question. Why did Atlas cancel Persona 5 for Vita? I've listened to many of your podcasts, but have not heard your take. Now, Kyle, do we answer this right now, or do we go through the rest?
Tyler, I don't know, man. I almost think we should answer right now, because I don't want to read a whole bunch of stuff that would be giving kind of misinformation.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Well, Kyle,
so maybe we should just answer this now.
Kyle, why haven't you had your take? I mean, seriously, this is pressing news. This is something we should have talked about, Kyle. Why have we not had our take on this?
Well, Tyler, it's because it never happened. So, why did Atlas cancel Persona 5 for Vita? The problem is, it was never announced for Vita. There was never supposed to be a Persona 5 for Vita. They never came out and said, Persona 5 Vita. It never happened. So, whatever kind of misconstrue happened there, it hasn't been announced for Vita. Though, Tyler and I believe, kind of, maybe, that it could possibly reach Vita after it has been released on other consoles. We've kind of mentioned that before, right around the time that it was announced, and the times that it's, we've had big updates. But yeah, it has never been canceled for Vita because it was never announced. So to kind of go over that information download that you gave us there would kind of be a discredit to it because it actually hasn't been canceled. So, yeah. Right, Tyler?
Right, exactly. Anyways, he continues on for another 5 paragraphs, so let's continue going. It seems from what I put below with sources, maybe you know the final numbers, Kyle or Tyler. And then he puts in more parentheses. Haha, Tyler, just kidding. I don't get that. I don't get it, Kyle. What's the joke?
That you wouldn't know.
I don't. There's the joke. I'm making the joke even more good, I guess. Anyways, that this series sold exactly 3.3-fold on Vita. What it did on the PlayStation 2. Again, if these numbers are correct. Surprised? Said no one ever. JRPGs are niche, but seem to be right at home on the Vita. I will never read a novel, book, or what have you on my 42-inch TV. So ... mystery solved there maybe. That's why the difference in sales, or could it be it became a cult classic, then the re-release caused the spike and not the platform. So will people really swarm to it on PlayStation 4? I just don't see it in that genre. Well, do we talk about that right there?
Yeah, I guess we could break it down a little. Okay, so looking at that first bit, all right. So mystery solved there with regards to not reading a novel, book, or what have you on his 42-inch TV. Yeah. See, like as much as Persona is visual novel kind of geared, it's not the same as sitting down to read a visual novel where all you're doing is hitting X all the way through the whole game. So I wouldn't really say, that's not something that people would do, because JRPGs have, been played mostly on consoles, I guess, from the start of time till now, other than PC. So yeah, I'm not sure that's necessarily accurate. I think definitely a difference in sales has to do with just kind of the RPGs on the market on that system at the time. So, like, I mean, when the PS2 version of Persona 4 came out, there were other RPGs out. When the Vita version came out, but there were so few that was such a standout amongst the group that it got a lot of the attention. So I can see why. And also, yes, I do think that you're bringing over those people who played it on PlayStation 2, who might have got a Vita or might have, heard about it coming to Vita and that made them get a Vita. Those people definitely had a hand in it. So yeah, but no. What do you think, Tyler?
I have to agree with you completely. There's not much more I could really say to that. I'm right there with you, Kyle.
All right, continue on then.
All right, so he goes. So, blah, blah, blah. What spooked them? Persona 4 Golden's numbers, as far as I can tell here, do not include the digital downloads, which was at a #1 this month in North America, I think. So, physical release? What would have happened to that game, Persona 4 Golden, if it had been digital only? Maybe too boring to speculate. Alright, well, let's get into that real quick. So, what do you think?
Okay, well, I think we've established that nothing spooked them, so we can skip that. But as for digital versus physical and having some sort of push on making P4G do well, of course, like, I think with anything like this, especially something being that big and something being a re-release, even though it's kind of, additional content, all that, you want the physical because people who kind of had the stuff originally had it physical, so they would kind of have a tie to it, and it, of course, would draw in more buyers. Just because digital, while it caters to everybody, it doesn't cater to the collector crowd, and it doesn't cater to people who are being nostalgic for the games that they're buying. So it's kind of adding that layer of things. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like if they had just released digital, yes, all these people would have bought it, but the people who were kind of on the edge because it was, a digital title and they had it physical before, or they like to look at the box art on their shelf or whatever the deal is, they might not have gone for it just because it was digital, because they had played the game before, even with that, extra content. So it's the little things that kind of make it worth it to go back, I guess. And one of the little things was having it as a physical copy, even though that's not such a little thing to somebody.
Right. I mean, back when the game came out and to now, most people that probably got it back when it came out on PS2 are old enough to be like, yes, I want this. This is something that I loved for the first few people that started grabbing this game, and they probably just like, yes, this game I loved back on PlayStation 2. Now I can take it on the go wherever I want. Of course, I want that physical. So, and it's also like, I mean, when you release a game on, let's just go broad here and just go like PlayStation 4 and Xbox. If you release it on one console, you're going to sell a certain amount, but if you release it on both, you're most likely going to make more than if you just had it on one, because you're opening the ability for more people to buy the game. And let's say you have someone that's like, I'm only buying physical, and there's a lot of people out there that will only get physical, and you just say this game's digital only. So I mean, they'll just be like, well, whatever, I don't care anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to sell more with both releases. So I don't know if it would have been I think word of mouth still would have spread. I feel like if it was just digital, people would still be going crazy about it. I'm sure the numbers would reflect a little lower and be a little different, but I still think people would go crazy about it. So, yeah. All right. Let's continue on. We're still on question 1, by the way, if you guys were curious and counting. So, just continuing on this train of thought, couldn't low-volume physical copies serve as free advertising? If Exceed can sell EDF2 physical copies, it can't be too cost prohibitive. That was a big word for me. A few sides. Don't you think every GameStop store, which there are thousands of, would take 2 copies each of Persona 5 at least? Okay. So, what he's saying here is weird.
Yeah, it seems like he's saying print out physical copies and then send them to GameStop to advertise your game.
Right, so he wants... Okay, for a second. The thing that's throwing me off really bad is how it seems to me that he thinks Persona 5 is going to completely bomb on PlayStation 4. Is that what he's trying to kind of saying?
That's what he's saying. It's not going to do anywhere as well as it did on Vita, I think.
Okay, now
and I really don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, he didn't ask that, I don't think. I haven't read this entire thing, but let's just go for a second with that. That's his perspective. Did he watch the Persona 5 announcement, event? People were going flipping crazy. Twitter was just insane. And everyone I saw was saying that it's PS4, hoping that it's PS4. I love the Vita. The Vita's my baby girl. But I was definitely thinking that it was coming to PS4 and not to Vita, and I'm totally fine with that because I love Persona, and I just want to play the goddamn game, and I'm going to play the shit out of that. If they announced it for Vita, then you bet I will get it on the Vita, but it's coming to PS4, I'm getting it. I don't care. I want it. I want to play it. I don't want it to be spoiled for me. I want to play it right when it comes out, so... But anyways, yeah, Persona 5 is a huge deal. Tons of people are excited for it, so... I mean, his idea of, having companies, send out physical copies, at least 1 or 2, to, all GameStops and stuff it's not a terrible idea, but... I mean, how often, does that work? And, I don't know if people actually, or companies actually try doing that. And if they did, how effective it would be, because you gotta trust in how each store advertises, new stock and stuff like that. With the Vita is not the best advertised device. As you may know, Sony did a shitty job, and that, trickles out to all the retail stores out there. There's some stores, I'll give it that. I'm not saying all stores are shit, but there's quite a few stores out there that are absolute trash when it comes to showing what Vita games there are out there. My GameStop that I have here in town, the entire store, the walls are filled with Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, their consoles and the 3DS and stuff like that. Then you've got one of those little shelves in the middle of the store that doesn't even say Vita on it anywhere, that has all the Vita copies just stacked like a library book, so you can only see the sides of the games. They're not face front. So you literally have to be wanting to get a Vita game and knowing what you want to see what Vita games are coming. It's kind of sad, but that's the reality we live in. So for Vita, I don't know if that's the best idea, but for other games, possibly, because I know GameStop has the front, when you go to buy stuff, they have that shelf behind like the cashiers, and you can see all the new stuff, and you're like, oh, what's that? And the guy or girl could be like, yeah, here, this is what this is, blah blah blah. So I'm sure it would work, but it would all depend on each store and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I don't know if that's a viable idea though. And with Persona 5, they're gonna sell tons, and they're probably gonna have like 20 copies at each store, if that, maybe more. So, Kyle, help me here.
Calling on my help finally, are you?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, like I mean, whenever you've got something, it's hard to come out with Persona 5 like coming at this from all these angles, because Persona 5 is kind of in a unique position that it is so well known as a JRPG, even though it's kind of a niche thing, kind of whatever. It's big enough to sell just on name. So, like, I mean, even if they never ever showed Persona 5 copies in stores at all, they would sell them like hotcakes from the stores, just because people know Persona. People know that the game is coming out. When it comes out, they're going to be freaking out. And it won't be, hey, let's look on the shelves. It'll be, hey, give me my copy so I can get home to play it right now.
Exactly.
So, like, I mean, it's not going to be... And, like, I mean, with Vita, the thing is, yeah, okay, so Persona 5 would be on Vita, and this is saying if it happened and if they made copies and if they had those two on at the GameStop. So say you have 2 copies of Persona 5 Vita, and you have them at GameStop, and they're sitting there on the shelf, front face, like not, library book style like Tyler's shit is. And they're sitting there. Okay, so they're there. So what? That still isn't going to sell Vitas. It's still not going to, do a whole bunch of things because of the fact that this is a multi-platform game. So, like, I mean, as much as we love our Vita, and as much as we prefer to play on our Vita, a lot of us do, we have the Vita, and we are getting the game because we have the Vita, and that's what we prefer. If somebody who didn't have a Vita saw Persona 5 there, they'd be like, yeah, so what? It's on PS4. Go get the PS4 version, go home. So, like, it doesn't really do anything as far as selling extra ones. And then you have that kind of effect where Vita people kind of know what's going on as far as that kind of stuff. So, like, I mean, if Persona 5 was coming out for Vita, as kind of little as the Vita media is, people would still know about it. So I don't think it would need to be out for those people who had a Vita to go out and find it and get it. So, like, I don't know who it would be helping that those 2 copies were there, other than maybe some random mom at Christmas sometime when she goes, oh, that's a cute bear on the front of the cover, or some crap like that, and buys it for her kid.
Right.
Like, I'm not really sure who that would be helping, because, like, the people who have Vitas would know that it was coming, and it wouldn't matter that those copies were there. And the people who don't have Vitas would see it there and go, yeah, it's on PS4 too, and go get the PS4 version because they have a PS4.
Right.
It's just kind of an awkward situation.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's continue going. We're still in question 1, people. I think that releasing the physical copy of Sword Art Online Lost Song is what propelled all these online Hollow Fragment sales. Okay. I looked at importing and its Chinese-English subtitles, which I actually like better, but it's $40 to $60 compared to 20 PSN, and they include the PSP game. So great bargain, and it's not going to get lost and crushed from Hong Kong. So every store has sold out around me. One had 9 pre-orders and just sold their last loose copy. What that did, though, as people are still looking for it, brought awareness, number 1, to the title even existing, and 2, sold more online copies of previous titles. And for states like mine that charge stupid tax on these, you can't just buy a game for $20, you have to get $30 worth of download vouchers. So there's change left over, right? So now they also bought some $4 to $5 game. All my rambling being as obvious as it is, does anyone know the profit margin for the cartridge, sticker, sleeve, art case, shipping? If it's only digital, who would ever know of it without your website or similar? So the bottom line, monetarily, is probably the same. Haha.
Okay.
So.
Do you want me to start picking that apart or what?
Yeah, Kyle, get all in there.
Alright, first of all, I think that releasing the physical copy of Lost Song is what propelled all these Hollow Fragment sales? No. Hollow Fragment was selling like crazy way before all that shit. Way before it even Lost Song released in Japan. Way before anything like that.
Before it was even known.
Yeah, before people even knew how good it was. So it's been selling and been pretty consistently in the top selling digital games every month that we get from the PSN lists, at least in North America, since it came out. So I definitely don't think that was a factor at all. Especially since Lost Song isn't a continuation, though they say it's Sword Art Online, they aren't even in the same kind of universe. It's kind of awkward. So I don't think that has a lot to do with it. Second of all, when we're talking about the PSN money and compared to like the money that you're making off the title compared to what they're making off of a physical copy, I'm not sure. I know a lot of those things depend on your volume, so how many you're ordering depends on your profit margins and stuff like that. So it would be hard to kind of give you, a base number. Though obviously, when you're doing stuff like that, having a physical copy priced the same as a digital copy, and the physical copy obviously has all the packaging and stuff like that, they're going to be making more off the digital copy.
Right.
That's just the way it is. But then the digital copy usually drops in price faster, so yeah, I don't know. It's awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward. But then again, if you're like me and you just go for the sales, you're gonna get it cheap anyway, and their profit margin is gonna be real low, and then you don't care. But anyway, yeah. So it's definitely. They don't really have anything to do with each other, and it's hard to give you numbers. If it was digital only, who would know about it without our website or similar? Well, hopefully anybody that opens up the PSN store on their Vita and looks, because I tell people who don't go to websites to do that, and that's kind of how they find out digital games are out. So until they're out, yeah, you're right, they probably wouldn't know, but after they're out, there's a method.
Right. Yeah, it's all fun and games, Kyle, until someone gets hurt, right?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Okay, so he goes on here. We're still in question 1. Your thoughts on this, or what you know would be cool to hear. Links and numbers I found below. He's linking us to how well Persona 4 sold on PlayStation 2 and Vita. So in North America, Persona 4 on PlayStation 2 sold 110,000 copies. It was expected to sell 150,000, so they were short of their expected amount. In Japan, they sold 300,000 and expected to sell 180,000, so they did a lot better in Japan than they did in North America. And then when we get to Persona 4 Golden, it says physical only. The global, I'm not going to go by each region, I'm just going to go by the global. The global was 1.1 million, and it doesn't say what they expected, unless it says it. No, it doesn't. I don't think it does. That doesn't. No, okay. That'd be kind of cool if they showed what they expected, but I mean, that definitely seems like a lot more, so that's pretty cool too, because I mean, that's just physical only, so I'm sure there's a ton of people out there that purchased that game digitally, so yeah, Persona 4 Golden was definitely probably a success on the Vita, and hopefully they'll consider Persona 5 on Vita, but I don't know. They seem pretty ambitious with what they're trying to do on Persona 5, so you never know. But anyways, we're finally at question 2. He's got multiple questions in question 2, and he separates them between us, which is kind of cool. We've never had anyone do that, so. I like this idea here. So, I'll ask your questions, Kyle. You ask my questions, alright?
Sounds like a plan.
Alright. Kyle, when did you get your first Vita, and are you still using your original?
I got my first Vita in 2012, December 25th, Christmas Day. And yes, I'm still using my original. It's a little scuffed, but it still works fine.
Very nice.
Alright, this one's for Tyler. Did they make you take your face metal lip rings off when you went to PSX through the TSA airport security?
No, they did not. I was actually asked when I was at work, like one of my friends was like, "You're probably gonna have to take your lip rings out," and I was like, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah, you got metal in your face. They'll probably set off their things," and I'm like, "But they'll see them on my face." I mean, I was
Well,
like,
the funny thing is, usually the metal that they use for that isn't
right,
like the metal that
it's
sets it
surgical
off,
metal.
or it's so little that yeah, they don't usually set it off.
Yeah, so no, I didn't take it out, and I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? It's super easy to take them out and put them back in. So if they tell me to take them off, I'll just take them off. If they don't, then I don't have to waste my time taking them off. So I just left them in. No one said a thing. So yeah. Are you planning on getting metal? Is the question there? I mean, you travel a lot. You should be fine. All right. This one's for Kyle. How is the support from stores like Canadian Tire, Walmart, and so on for the Vita?
All right, so Canadian Tire. I don't think I've ever seen a video game in Canadian Tire here. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen a video game. So I don't know if that's something like maybe the bigger stores like Toronto would have, but here in my city, they do not have video games in Canadian Tire. As for Walmart, Walmart's pretty good. They don't display well, so they're not up with, all the PS4 games and stuff like that. They're usually in the bottom case, but they usually actually have them front faced, and they usually have a decent Vita selection. Usually a couple older games, and then they have like the brand new stuff. So not a huge amount, but if you were kind of going there for something, you kind of would know from what you were going there for whether it was there or not. So it's not too bad. Other stores, we have this place called Microplay here. It's I think a Canadian store, and it's just like a small like chain store like EB Games or GameStop would be, but they're not so dickish, I guess. Everyone I've ever been in, the guys like all in there are like nice and actually know about video games, so it's kind of cool. So that place is pretty good, and EB Games are kind of hit and miss. So there's I think 3 in my city, and one of them has like a whole whack of Vita games and like an actual Vita like stand like that says Vita on it and like a Vita there that you can play. And I think the other one has a Vita you can play, but it's never on. And like a little shelf at the bottom of like the PS4 rack with games. And the other one, the third one, doesn't have any Vita games showing at all, but they have them if you ask for them. So that's kind of weird.
Huh. That is weird.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Moving on to the Tyler question. Tyler, what does Sony and the developers think about you guys doing this service for them? Sounds like you got some kudos at PSX, but do you ever receive any praise or games for free to trial? This seems like a huge undertaking, full-time job this, and maintain a social life? Ha ha ha.
Well, I'm pretty sure the View Lounge gets a lot of praise from developers and Sony and people that work for Sony. I mean, I'm not in charge of the TVL Twitter account or a lot of the main things happening within TVL, so I'm sure Kyle and Paul probably hear a lot more of stuff like that. But yeah, when I was at PSX, anyone I went and talked to, like Drinkbox, the guys from oh man, now I'm blanking on their name and I feel bad. Limited Run, yeah, Limited Run Games, like pretty much anyone I talked to were like, oh yeah, the Vita Lounge, I've seen their stuff, and like, they get all excited, and I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. So yeah, there's some praise there, yeah. And then games for free, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of review games that we get, and I'm pretty sure that's, yeah, we also get some games for giveaways too. So if you're ever on the forums or checking the site, you'll see a post up saying, hey, we've got this little competition thing going on, free game, so you gotta look out for that. We get some stuff, we get hooked up. and we hook you guys up. That's what it's all about, Kyle, right?
That's right.
Speaking of which, I just like doing this because it's fun. I'm going to give away a free game. Kyle didn't expect this. I did it last week, or not last week, the last time we did it, I think. You guys ready?
Yes, you did.
This is a North American copy of a game I will never play. So this is why I'm giving it away. So, North American title. This is Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Here you go. Here's your code, people. Get those Vitas ready. Listen carefully. I'm only going to say it once. R K M J G B N Q. Kyle, put your veto away. This is for the people. Come on. Seriously? 2 6 P L. There you go. That is a North American copy for Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires. Have fun with it. I was gonna download it myself.
I will. I mean,
God
nothing.
damn it, Kyle. And I just, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that Kyle and I are not the biggest fans of these Dynasty Warrior games. So I had no use of using it. So there you go. There's a copy. Whoever gets it, let me know on Twitter. Say what's up. Say thank you. You don't have to. You can call me a name and say, haha, I got your code. Mwah. I don't really care. Just enjoy the game, hopefully. So yeah, those were the questions that he gave us. He continues on here. The last email on iTunes bounces back. Is it old? Yes, it is old. You should be.
It has been corrected since we received this email. I forgot that we have to update it there too.
Kyle,
So
what if
it's
that's
corrected.
why we have not been getting anything?
Well, it's been corrected for 2 weeks, Tyler.
Okay.
Almost now. So where's our stuff?
All right.
We haven't got any, so.
Okay. Well, it's been corrected. It's mediaservices@thevitalounge.net if you're curious. He says, thanks, guys. It's so cool what you all do. Have a good and safe New Year's. God bless, Jim, via email. Thank you, Jim. Hopefully you had a good New Year's and good holidays. And thank you for this very long-winded question. We goofed a little bit on the beginning, but we really do appreciate this email. It was a very interesting read. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. That was a good one.
So yeah, let's go to check this out. Kyle, what do we got?
Well, I'm unprepared.
Okay, while you're thinking about that, we got a question from Lawrence Zapita, at Lawrence Zapita on Twitter. He says, what are you guys looking forward to the most for Vita in 2016? I'll answer while Kyle continues to think for a little bit. We didn't talk about it at all in the news, but I am so excited for Attack on Titan. Like, so excited. I am just, I love Freedom Wars. I'm super excited that God Eater and whatnot got announced to come west. And now we're getting, like, one of my all-time favorite anime turned into a game, and it looks badass. It looks like it's going to play very similar to how these Monster Hunter-style games play. But, of course, with the Attack on Titan theme, that game is just, I need it. I need it so bad. Like, I'm going to be nerding out so hard when they announce the date and when it gets super close. Like, I'm going to, like, my arms will reach all the way to Canada, and I will put them on Kyle's shoulder, and I will shake him. And I will just shake him of excitement because that game, oh, I want it so bad. I want it so bad. So, hopefully that gave Kyle enough time to think of a game that he's going to tell us to check out, and also a game that he's excited for in 2016. Kyle, go.
Okay, so game I'm excited for in 2016. I'm gonna have to say, because Tyler took my other one, Senranku Estival Versus. This one's been out for a while in Japan. They've got a whole bunch of DLC. I think their DLC schedule is actually finished now. So they've got all these new characters to play with, and I still don't have it in my hands. So I'm a little bit of a sad Kyle, and I can't wait till I have it. And all those boobies. Boobies, yes. But anyway, speaking of other things, and that's my check this out. I kind of want to recommend Super Beat Sonic. I don't think I've recommended it before. It's been out a little while now, and it's so good. Like I'm freaking ridiculously addicted to this game. I don't think any other rhythm game on Vita has quite grabbed me this way. So yeah, definitely a huge recommend. It's good for players whether you're coming in and you have no idea about rhythm games, or if you're like the Project Diva master or something like that. This will, be able to give you some sort of challenge. So yeah, pick it up. Great songs, great game, great developers and publishers. Lots of great. Go get it.
Well, all right, there we go. So there you go. That was episode 107. You want to get out of here, Kyle?
I do, Tyler. I do.
Yeah. We've been gone for a while. We're back, people. So enjoy some Vita casting from here on out until next holidays, I guess. So, if you've got listener mail or comments, contact us via mediaservices@thevitalounge.net. You can find everything we talked about today at thevitalounge.net. The news, reviews, featured articles, store updates, the podcast, a community forum, and a magazine, both digital and physical. You can support the site and get physical copies of the magazine via patreon.com/thevitalounge. You can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. On Twitter, at The Vita Lounge, I'm at Mr. PSVITA Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. Or on Facebook, just search The Vita Lounge. You can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. Now with more videos. Kyle's all about that. And a quick little update, I am editing more of the Extra Life stuff. I know it's been a long time with the holidays coming and this taking for goddamn ever to edit crap. It has been fun, with quotation marks around the word fun. So hopefully I can get those going soon. I might start uploading a few very quickly and then getting like the lesser known games done later, because I don't feel like they're going to get that good of views, but I'm not really sure. Plus they're really flipping hard to edit because I have to cut so much crap out that I've gotten so insane that I'm almost like I don't even want to edit this and just give people a full video, but it would be so boring. So I'm trying to make them at least watchable.
Well, I'm sure viewers appreciate that, Tyler, especially now that we have 2,000 subscribers.
Woo! Nice.
That's right.
So yeah, hopefully I can get those done soon. Like I said, I might actually start uploading some of the more popular game videos soon. So look out for that, hopefully soon. Anyways, this podcast is available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube, and via direct download on the site. Subscribe to us, rate us, let us know how we're doing. And that is it for the VitaCast episode 107. We will be back next week with more Vita news and stuff.
Welcome to 2016, bitches.
That's the name of the podcast.
I was thinking that too.
All right, let's go play some Bloodborne.
All right, sounds like fun.